Hey everyone, welcome back to another Anime Kingdom reviews. You see my title below, this is on episode 3 and 4 of Bloodivores, and you may be wondering why is this late for one thing, and another thing is why is this a 2-episode review? Well, I'm just going to clarify this for now. You may already know this, but if you haven't, seen my update video before, all of last week I was not able to make any reviews. I did not feel well, I was super sick, and then so last week I decided to do pretty much 2-episode reviews that week that I missed, and the current last week as well, all in one. And then everything was going well. Then Friday I honestly didn't feel well again, so I ended up going to the doctors, getting medicine. So now I am feeling a lot better and able to make these videos. But that is the reasons behind why these reviews have been late, and why it is a 2-episode review as well. So yeah, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about how I felt about these 2 episodes. Because honestly, when I talked about episode 2, I was saying how there are some things that shows that it does have potential. It's pretty interesting in certain things, but honestly, it feels like the plot is all over the place. I don't really know what is going on, and 2 episodes later, I still feel the same. Will I continue to be watching this anime and reviewing it? I'm going to say yes. There's still some points that do interest me here and there. Sure, the animation is definitely not the best. There's a lot of, times where it's just like, what the hell is going on? Why does it look like this kind of thing? But, and of course, like I said before, I don't really know where the plot is. We're going all over the place. Sure, I know we, at one point in episode 4, they talk about space-time interaction. Oh no, episode 3 or episode 4, one of them. And it's pretty much, yeah, space and time, all that kind of stuff. It always literally just confuses the hell out of me, and it's really hard to do that in a good way. Not leaving that as an excuse, but obviously that is one big thing that really throws everything off. We don't really know where they are, when they are, and all this kind of stuff. And instead of really answering any questions or anything, we're left being thrown more questions without answering the previous ones. We still have, like, for example, in episode 4 at the beginning, that one guy, detective guy, or whoever that guy was, is pretty much wondering, why did all of these inmates, these death row inmates, just suddenly die, just suddenly disappear? Their bodies are gone, they're just considered dead. How is that possible? How is that, how is that possible? And then it also shows the fact that with Anji, sorry, I gotta look at their names, I have a hard time saying their names, Chen Fong and Win Chao, all pretty much somehow were led and put into the same orphanage. And it just seems so like there's some type of plot that is going on there, but then right when it starts to get deep into that plot, it throws us out back into where this prison. That is why in English the show is called Space Time Prisoner. So I kind of understood, like, oh, so this is like they're in another dimension or another timeline or another something crazy like that. Obviously, as you saw in episode 3 when they meet in the classroom or whatever office like area they were in, what's it called, Milu saw a paper that said that building was made 2 years, pretty much 2 years after the time, their regular current time they were in before this. And obviously the building looks like it's been abandoned and destroyed for like years on. So that means there's somewhere way in the future, do not know where or when exactly, or they do know when, obviously. And we see in episode 3 and episode 4 we do get some background stories that are pretty interesting. For example, Milu and how he was as a kid and everything, and a little bit explanation on his power. And really we see that he's not the only one that has this power, but the powers kind of differ. His has the control of gravity. We saw one guy, I guess he can, like, he's a telepath. Another guy was able to like stop the creature, slow him down for somehow, not too sure on that. But you do see that we do learn more about this hemo whatever they're called powers. So they all have different types of powers. And we also do learn a little bit about pretty much every single character. We see Win Chao and Chen Fong, we see their past and how they pretty much interacted in the orphanage as they were younger and everything. And wow, I gotta say that Win Chao, literally, I did not expect the way he is, like the way he was portrayed in the first episode. Seemed like this guy who didn't give a fuck. He probably killed people before, and instead this time he kills that guy, and he's like crying. Anything he can't. He doesn't. He like I killed him. I killed him. And Chen Fong is the one that's he thinks he's he's the older one, and he's the one obviously that thinks that he's gotta get them back together and help them and everything. So later on in the future, I'm not too sure how many episodes in, we'll probably have it where they will finally meet up again. Not too sure how, but it did show in the preview, I think, seeing them, they are going to break through their barricade and try and fight them off or something like that. Not really too sure on that, but yeah. But one thing that also kind of, I don't know if this was like a mistake or that's just how it was, but the whole thing with the collars still confused me as well. That fact that one guy died because he was trying to kill Chen Fong. Why didn't Win Chao's his choker, his necklace, his whatever thing blow up when he killed the guy? I thought they were not allowed to kill anyone. I'm not too sure if that is a mistake and that wasn't supposed to be like that, or it has some hidden meaning later on, but no one notices in the anime when it's going on. Now, I'm over here like, wait a minute, how did he kill the guy? It should have blew his head off. He's not supposed to be able to kill anyone. So I'm not too sure on how that works out, but that's kind of confusing. But literally, like, that's just like everything is all over the place. We do not know what the main plot is. We still don't know who framed them and everything. We still don't know, obviously we see a little bit in the plot line of why they were all sent here. We still don't really know that. Something about space time now, it's all crazy like this. Then we start going into background stories of Milu. Next one we have Win Chao and Chen Fong. We still don't really know too much about Anji and the whole thing with her of being, there was a cyborg pretty much that looked just like her. So I'm wondering what's going on there. There's literally so many questions I have right now that honestly I thought we were going to get things answered in episode 2, and instead we got more and more questions. Now, certain things are pretty cool, certain action scenes, but honestly, it also makes it seem like these monsters are just way too strong. They literally cannot do a single thing. We saw Milu literally bouncing around, stabbing that thing in the head like 500 times, and that thing did not die. Even when he slammed it against the other one into like a huge rubble kind of stuff, they were still not dead. One thing though that really I was really happy about was that damn bitch that ends up pretty much like in episode 3. It just seems like I told you she was gonna die. How is that gonna happen? I don't know. We find out a little bit about her and that she's been married like several times and she ends up killing her husbands. Yeah, she's kind of crazy. Yeah, and then we see her groping Anji and stuff too. So thanks for that fan service. But when they're running away, we have, what's it called, Milu fighting one of those monsters, and then they're running. All of a sudden, oh, there's another one. Time to run to the door. Anji's trying to help her out. She pushes Anji to get hurt, runs through that door, runs away, runs to a dead end, figures out, oh my gosh, it's a dead end. I have to get Milu to help me. Goes back. Guess what, bitch? You got what you deserve. Karma's a bitch. And Milu grabs Anji, and right when it looks like he's about to grab her hand to help her, boom, dashes away, and she's like, he abandoned me? Like, she's confused, like, what? Why? How? Why would he do such a thing? Like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? For one thing, you already know he really cares about Anji. Another thing is, you do that and you think he's gonna help you? You are an idiot. And of course, not too sure if she is dead. We do see like at the end, like there's an arm and someone is being dragged. I don't think it was Anji. I don't think it was obviously Milu, so it might be her and she might be alive or she might be dead. I'm not too sure on that point yet, but that was pretty much the end of the episode. We see Milu get pretty much something throws that monster at Milu, so I'm not too sure on what's going on there. And in the preview, it looks like he's trying to get out and save Anji because she is bleeding. So that was pretty much the end of the episode. How do I feel about all of this so far? Honestly, this anime, it does have some potential. I'm gonna say it's pretty interesting at certain points, but the problem is the execution. Everything is literally all over the place. I do not know fully what is going on. The plot is literally like floating all over the place with different things going on, different things happening every time. And instead of answering questions and then bringing new things, to make us think, oh, okay, that's cool, instead they leave questions. Oh, you want those questions answered? Too bad. More questions, and then more questions, and then more questions. So honestly, right now at this point, it is confusing. I'm hoping it gets better, but there's only a 12 episode season. With everything, the way the pacing is going so far, and it's pretty damn slow so far, honestly, I do not know how this anime is going to be ending. Sure, the web series, webcomic, people have been saying it's really good as well. I've been seeing that a lot of people do like the webcomic, but the anime so far, in my opinion, has not done a good job at executing. The animation, in my opinion, is not that good either. So really the only thing that's got me continuing to watch it is that there are some points that are interesting, and I kind of just want to watch it just to see where it goes. Because right now at the moment, I have so many questions that I want answered, and honestly, if I drop it right now, I'm just going to be pissed at myself because I want to know what's going to happen. So that's the only thing that's keeping me at the moment from dropping it. And of course, there's a possibility that it can get better. There are some things that, make look like it can be interesting and can get better if they, buckle down on that one point and give us our answers instead of throwing more and more questions and throwing the plot all over the place. But who knows? Right now, this is the 4th episode, so just gotta wait to see how the next episodes go. Depending on how they will, the rest of the next ones go, I may drop reviewing it, I drop watching it. I may just watch it at the very end when it's all out and see how it ends. But depending on these next episodes will determine how I feel about reviewing it. Usually it's a 3-episode rule, and after the 3rd episode I still want to continue watching it. That's why I'm still continuing reviewing it. But I'm going to give it more episodes for now and see how it goes from there. And thus, then I will, determine if I will continue reviewing it or not. But yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. So hope you enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything I missed and you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to like. And if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. And yeah, that's all I got to say, guys. So till next time, see